So I have a confession to make. I completely and totally failed at reaching my income goal for quarter one. In fact, not only did I fail, I am worse off financially currently than I was on January 1st. It's April 2nd today. But I was able to take this failure and transform it into huge personal growth. I had a massive aha moment yesterday. So, yay for me. Today's video is going to be getting really personal and vulnerable. I'm going to be sharing my journal entry from yesterday where I work through the feelings of disappointment around this big financial hurdle that I faced. My hope for sharing this is that if you watch this all the way through, that it may serve as a model, an example for how you can relate to failure in a different way. If you're anything like me and you struggle with perfectionism and with the prospect of failure, I want this video to serve as a tangible example for how failure or a setback or not meeting an important goal doesn't have to automatically turn into a negative story about yourself. In fact, it can be a really potent opportunity to grow in your relationship with yourself. So, before I get into the meat of the video, let me introduce myself really quick. My name is Laura, and here on my channel, I talk all things health, wealth, and happiness in the attention economy. I am a grad student studying to become a counselor, specifically studying career counseling. And this is all I do. I love looking at the intersection of mental health and the attention economy and career and money things. Today, we're doing mostly the money and mental health part. But the fact that I'm showing up here to tell you about it ties in the attention economy part. So anyway, if you enjoy this video, make sure you hit subscribe. But if you want to watch it all the way through first before making that decision, I understand. Let's get into it. A little bit of context to help you understand some of my journal entry first. Number one, I have been in a group mindset and business coaching group since 2020. And I love this group. I love my coach. I love the people in this group. I feel very, very comfortable with these folks to get really vulnerable. And part of this experience is in our little forum. We have you can make your own post where it's a log. My log is like 12 pages long. It started in 2020. I've had many, many, many goals throughout my time in this group, and very few of them have I actually reached. Part of our group is we do a quarterly review. If you watched my video on Sunday, I did my quarterly review for the channel, looking at my channel analytics. We do pretty much the exact same process with our financial revenue goals. Most of the people in the group are entrepreneurs, so we're looking at money mostly as our metric. So yesterday on April 1st, we did our Q1 quarterly review and Q2 planning session in our group coaching. So this was a time when it's time for me to sit down and actually look at the numbers and confront the fact that I am not anywhere even remotely close to my Q1 goal. And looking at the reasons for why that is. My job, the way that I make money right now while I am in school is through pet sitting, which is why you may hear a dog in the background. That's Cooper. He's my client this week. The thing about pet sitting is that it's very seasonal. January was very lucrative for me. I did so well in January that not only did I surpass my January revenue goal, but I also surpassed my February revenue goal. And if I had been able to keep up that level, I would be well past my Q1 goal. But here's the thing, my pet sitting calendar was really slow in February and March. It started picking up in March, but more so in terms of scheduling meet and greets with new clients and getting bookings on my calendar for later in the year. So while I was busy, I wasn't really earning any money yet. I'm setting myself up to earn money later, which is important, but doesn't contribute to my Q1 goal, right? So basically, despite the fact that January was so lucrative, February and March were so not lucrative that I not only am like at zero in terms of like the money that I've netted, I'm down. I'm in the red. So that's hard, right? Like, because here's the thing, the reason why I am pursuing a revenue goal, I mean, we all need money to live, right? Like, we live in a society, and that society revolves around money and private property, which I have some thoughts and feelings about, but that's not for this video. The mindset that I'm trying to approach my money goals this year is through a lens of self love. A little over a year ago, I decided to lose some weight. I've never been like overweight, I've always been athletic. But I had gained some fat through the pandemic and through some big upheavals in my life. And I was just ready to lose that fat. And the sort of mantra that I had in my head through that experience was, I want my outsides to reflect how strong I feel on the inside, because I had gone through a lot of personal growth and transformation. So that mindset carried me through the process of counting calories and tracking my diet and optimizing for protein and like all of this stuff. And like, I don't want to get into all of the details of how that worked out because that could be its own video. But the long story short is that it worked. Like, I lost weight, I lost fat specifically, and I like got more toned through the experience. And I did it all like drama free. At no point was I doing this with the mindset of like trying to punish myself or feeling like, if only I could lose some weight, then I'd feel pretty, then I'd feel worthy, then I'd feel valuable as a person. No, 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 none of that. It was like I was super detached from the outcome because I was already physically strong. I could do everything I wanted to do athletically. I was healthy, like all my doctor tests showed that, everything was fine. It was like purely a vanity project, you know? And so because of that, it was really easy for me to stay detached. And yeah, like I said, I reached my goal. So I have been trying to apply this mindset to my financial journey this year of like thinking like, I want my bank account to reflect how much I love and value myself. And so that made it really disappointing when I did not reach my Q1 financial goal, because it was like, man, I really let myself down, you know? So having this mantra of, I want to increase my income, I want to make this money in order to show myself how much I love myself, I think backfired. And we're going to get into this in the journal entry. But first, one other little bit of backstory to help you understand this entry is that over the last like 6 months or so, I have sort of been realizing that the issues that I have around money are very similar to the issues that I have around like romantic relationships, and that these issues are tangled up in one another. I don't want to give too much information about my most recent relationship that ended about 3 years ago, but suffice it to say, I was in sort of this like catch 22 of like, this person was going to be my solution to feeling secure financially because they had a really good job and I was a struggling artist. But then the flip side of it is that I simultaneously felt very pressured to be making enough money to support myself in order to earn this person's love. So, super unhealthy. There's a reason we broke up. I'm much better now because we broke up. But again, this is just to sort of like give you context of what I'm going to be sharing in my journal. I think that's everything you need to know. So, are we ready? Are we ready? Am I ready? I think I'm ready. Okay, let me get this up. I'm not sure if I'm going to be trying to put like B-roll over this, but if you see me looking down, it's because I'm reading. Here goes. Okay, I just had an enormous breakthrough. It's been another one of those weeks. LOL. It's another layer of how my brain has been conflating money with love, specifically self-love. It started with a practice that always helps me, which is entertaining my anxiety. Going down that road so that my brain doesn't have to keep fixating on the what ifs. After realizing how off track I am for the Q1 review call today, I asked myself, what if I don't reach my annual revenue goal this year? And all of the potential worst case scenarios are actually scenarios that I can live with. It's things like, if I have no money when it's time to retire, I can always just go to Scandinavia and commit a crime and go to prison in Sweden or Norway and I'll be fine. More likely than not, I will retire in relative comfort unless something completely catastrophic happens. And even then, I have options. This exercise of going through the worst case scenarios made me realize that the biggest reason I want to reach my goal is actually because I want to show myself how much I love myself. I always go back to fitness. Last year, when I decided to lose weight, the thought I had throughout that process was, I want to look as strong as I feel. This year, with my finances, my mantra has been, I want my bank account to reflect how much I value myself. But when I examined this thought more closely, I realized I'm trying to buy my own love. I'm trying to prove myself how much I love and value myself by earning money, which is like so not it. LOL. Not only because that's not how love works, but also because it's just not the relationship I want to have with myself. It feels like putting my shoe on the wrong foot. Like, oops, my bad. That's not right. I didn't mean to do that. There are so many other ways that I show love to myself on a daily basis. Eating well, moving my body, investing in my long term success, even though I'm financially uncomfortable right now. I am in grad school, which is a move for my long term well being financially. Investing in my mental health and spirituality, journaling and spending time with myself. I don't need money to prove to myself that I love myself. It also makes me think of parenting. You know the tropes. On one end, you have the absent parent who works 18-hour days, 364 days per year, and buys their kids anything they want because they feel guilty for not being around. And then on the other hand, you have the attentive parent who may be struggling to put food on the table, but is at every dance recital and school play no matter what. If I have to choose between these extremes, I would choose the latter 10 times out of 10. Of course, I'd prefer not to have to live in either of these extremes, but playing along with that worst case scenario game, I would want my inner child to say, I didn't get everything that I wanted, but I did always feel loved. So, while it's noble that I want to make more money so that I can spoil myself and give myself the creature comforts and retirement I deserve, it's not the only or most important way for me to show myself love and care. I already show myself love and care every single day. I already have what I'm looking for. I will always have my own back, no matter what happens. I'm really proud of myself for not crying right now. I have in my journal, I'm crying as I write this, LOL. Aside from this being a beautiful realization on its own, there are two things that make it even more amazing. The first big win is this. This is another layer of that love equals money onion that I've been trying to unpeel for a while. When I was with my ex, I was attracted to them because they embodied so many things that I perceived as deficits in myself at the time, which is to say that, this person embodied sort of society's definition of a perfect person. They had this high paying, stable job. They were really physically fit. They had interesting hobbies. And I felt like at the time, I felt like I didn't measure up to any of those standards. And so subconsciously, I think I believed that if I could spend as much time with this person as possible, that their essence would like rub off on me and I could be more like them and be more socially acceptable. But now, when I develop crushes on people, it's because I see traits in them that are also in me. I see them as reflections of my awesomeness, not my shortcomings. Right now, I have a little crush on someone who I recently met. I don't know this person super well, but from what I do know, I think that we have had similar life paths, pursuing a career in the arts and then pivoting to a new career because it didn't pan out. This person is super studious, very involved in extracurriculars, and natural leader and an entrepreneur with a side hustle. Everything that I like about this person are things that I like about myself. Well, thinking along these lines, if we have had similar life trajectories, then I would guess that they might be in a similar boat as me financially. But I don't find that to be a turnoff or a red flag if they don't have a ton of money right now because they're building in that direction. It's the vision, the persistence, the commitment that are green flags for me. And I have all the faith in the world that this person will be successful based on what I see. If I can see all of that in them, then I can see it in me too. The second, even bigger win is I came to all of this today, which is yesterday when I wrote it. The same day I discovered I didn't reach my quarter one milestone, less than 12 hours later. This, in and of itself, is even more evidence of how far I've come, how much I love myself, and how much I actually don't need the money to prove my love for myself. Like, can I get a round of applause? Compare this to the first year here in this coaching group. If you look at my log from 2020, wild, wild transformation. I am so damn proud of myself. Like, genuinely, fuck whatever is going on around me in my bank account with my physical appearance. This is what matters. This is what life is about. Go me. Go me. That was my journal entry. Let me know what you think, but please be kind. Remember that this happened yesterday. And it's also very personal and raw. Like I said, my hope for sharing this is that if you are somebody who, like me, has struggled with failing and not meeting expectations, that this can offer a little bit of healing in that it's a different perspective. It's a different way to look at the deeper reasons for why you're pursuing certain goals and looking for alternate meanings for if/when you don't meet those goals. Because failure is inevitable, it's a part of the process of success. And the more you fail, the less bad it gets each time. That's all I have for you today. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the video. And I'll see you on Sunday with this upcoming week's small channel analytics update. See ya!